dozens of other encampments citywide.
When I hear people say to me, oh, why are you taking down the encampments? Are you doing?
This is a black guy, by the way. This is a black. I believe he's what, the mayor of New York City or something. Like, this is a black guy, by the way, or orchestrating the destruction of homeless camps. And the thing is, like, black people, African Americans, are more likely to experience poverty, homelessness, what have you. And the fact that this guy just is like, yeah, let's just rip them down, is insane to me. This is insane. This is disgusting. This is very, very, very vile. It is disgusting, and I hate it.
Doing it because you want the city to look better? No, I want us to do better.
Mayor Eric Adams today defended his new policy, saying it's part of a bigger plan that's better.
We're also going to look at multiple sources on this issue. We're not just going to look at one. We're going to look at multiple videos, multiple sources, and what have you in the span of this broadcast to just make sure we get the best picture about this entire situation and what is going on here.
For the homeless and for New Yorkers overall. But the city's largest advocacy group, the Coalition for the Homeless, says that policing and sweeps are harmful, counterproductive strategies that can actually push unsheltered homeless people further away from services, and clearing encampments is in direct violation of CDC guidance.
Yeah, like, homeless people don't have, like, cars and, like, access to transportation. Like, everything costs money, which is something that homeless people do not have. So when you just shove all of these people, when you rip them out from under the city, and then like tell them, you I don't know where you're gonna go, but you can't stay here, type stuff, like, that just makes their situation worse. It just makes their situation even worse. Like, it makes their situation a lot worse. Like, these people can't, like, yeah, they could walk, but, like, how far are they gonna have to walk? Like,
say it increases the risk of infectious diseases spreading, including COVID. Adams says that new facilities like this one that he opened today, which are smaller than traditional dormitory-style shelters and provide mental and physical health.
Oh, thank you for the compliment on my shirt.
Are what is needed. But this new place, run by Care Found Here, has beds for up to 80 people. But thousands more must be brought online as quickly as possible to begin to meet the need, says the Coalition for the Homeless. At least 2,000 homeless people are on the streets every night, and nearly 80,000 are in traditional shelters, advocates say. Adams says he intends to build more of the smaller, so-called safe haven facilities and to get more homeless people into them.
But we're going to go with brochures and show, here's what a safe haven bed looks like.
Okay. All right. You know what? Fine. If this is what he plans on doing, I take back what I said about him being vile. If this is what he plans on doing, and if this is going to work, if it works, fine, great, do it. But something tells me that this is not going to go the way in which he plans it to go, and or in which it's like, stated that it's gonna go, and then this is probably gonna backfire in some way, shape, or form. Nope, he's still vile. In what way? Like, I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm just asking, like, is there something else that we should look at? Something else that he did? Like, yeah, this he's completely ignoring the fact that most homeless people still avoid shelters. That is true. And maybe that's something that I avoided as well. Are they really bad? I've never been inside of a homeless shelter because I've never been homeless. But, like, are they like horrible? Are you a massive? Okay. Thank you. I guess we should listen to the music of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Allen or Gigi Allen. What? Why the fuck is it that when people comment on TikTok, they comment the dumbest things? Like, when people comment on TikTok chat, in TikTok chat, they comment the dumbest things.
Facilities like this?
Okay, you know what? Yeah, actually, you know what? I take back what I said earlier. He's still vile because, again, he's still ripping out the homeless encampments, the homeless camps that a lot of these homeless people, like, they made these, like, fortified structures, like, by themselves or with the helps of, like, other homeless people and stuff. Like, and they're shelters for them to keep warm and everything. Like, the fact that he's ripping these out is still incredibly bad. Like, that's still incredibly bad. His dad was a crazy religious person? Okay. They are abusive at shelters, and the rules are over the top for people needing help. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for complimenting me on my shirt.
Because the city is forcibly removing people from encampments, it violates the trust between homeless people and the city and makes it difficult for homeless people to want to come to places like this. Tomorrow, the
oh shit! They said it in the news broadcast. They said it in the news broadcast. Oh dang! They said it in the news broadcast.
Unveil his new plan to expand the number of facilities like this, and we will of course be on that story. Right now, reporting live from the Mott Haven section of the Bronx, I'm James Ford, Pix 11 News.
Who are you talking about, William? Nobody. Are you talking about the mayor? Who are you talking about? Adam says he's like broccoli when it comes to crime.
From subways, and now the city has just launched an effort to clear homeless encampments. The mayor says there are about 180 of these in the city, and he wants them dismantled while promising to get help for those living there.
Well, this afternoon, the mayor opened a safe...
Here's an idea. Maybe before you dismantle the homeless encampments, you should make the things that you say are going to help the homeless people first before you just go ahead and dismantle the encampments. And this makes the fact that he went about it this way. In America, we always do stuff ass backwards. We always go about solving problems the wrong ways, it seems like. Always addressing things with a hammer rather than when a pillow would do. Ooh, look at me. Look at that. Always addressing things with a hammer when a pillow could do, or something else not as hard could do. Out of sight, out of mind is our true goal. That is true. That's true. That's what it seems like. And I'm willing to bet. And again, like I said, like, because he went about it this way, this leads me to assume that what he's gonna do is he's gonna just completely ignore. He's gonna just completely ignore the homeless people once they're out of the city. He's not gonna care. He's just gonna completely ignore them. Oh look, Amazon totes. Oh, these things right here, for those of you who don't know, these are Amazon tote bags that are being... I know this because currently I'm an Amazon delivery driver. I'm actually quitting this job because I'm actually going to be working directly with the homeless. Making some change and doing some good on the ground. These are Amazon tote bags. So what happens is whenever you go in for your shift at Amazon at the beginning of the day, if you're a driver, you get this cart full of these kinds of bags. And they're packed to the brim with packages that you have to deliver. Yeah, these are Amazon tote bags right here. I don't know how these got out here, but yeah, these are... You can find these actually like all over the place. Like, they get rid of these like left and right all the time. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised like at all if once like the homeless people were like cleared out and everything, that they were just forgotten to time and forgotten to history, and Eric Adams didn't actually give two shits about the homeless.
Haven in the Bronx. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson is there tonight with our lead story. Kim.
Well, Liz, this safe haven is now officially open. The state
also, why aren't the workers standing up to this? Like, why aren't the workers and companies standing up to this and going, no, we're not going to do this? Like, this is bad. Like, this is you want to know how the rich get away with doing their bullshit? It's because the rich have poor people that are willing to do their dirty work for them in exchange for crumbs at their table. That is how shit like this ends up happening. Like, we analyzed this from with the Hadestown music yesterday about how, people are working just for work's sake, and they view that work is keeping them out of poverty, even though they're just working just to work all the freaking time. Like, we need to develop class consciousness. I need all the people, all of the like garbage workers and shit that are working for Eric Adams that are being his hands and muscles and stuff in this operation to understand that they are far closer to being one of those homeless people than they are to being Eric Adams, like, or anybody else richer than he is, like, or even in some cases people that aren't as rich as aren't as rich and successful as Eric Adams and what have you. Like, in many cases, a lot of us are just one pay period away. One missed pay period away from being homeless and from being evicted, from not having a roof over our heads. Excuse me. I'll be working with an outreach program in my area. Welcome to the middle class. Vote third party. I disagree with voting third party because oftentimes the third parties in America aren't that great either. Unless the third party was something like socialist or communist, then maybe. Because we used to have like socialist and communist parties in America. But they were rooted out and what have you. But yeah, I don't think voting third party actually works, especially considering how polarized America is, and considering the fact that like we have so many old people that are willing to that will die on the hill of voting Democrat or Republican. And also, not only that, but we don't have ranked choice voting. Maybe voting third party. Actually, you know what? Voting third party would be great if we introduce a ranked choice voting system to where it's not necessarily the person who gets the most votes who is the winner, but rather, I guess, not necessarily the person who gets the least votes either. But so let's say you have a bunch of people that voted for this one candidate, but the majority of people did not vote for that candidate. They put their eggs in different baskets. Like you have, like, let's say you have 50% of people voted for this candidate, but you have 15, 15, and 15. It's 30, it's 45. You get what I mean, right? Like, I can't exactly divvy up the math proportion, like, correctly here. I could do it if I had, like, a pie chart that I could move around or some shit, right? Yeah. You guys get what I'm saying, though. Chris Hedges and Professor Richard Wolff disagree. They can disagree all they want, but I'm also gonna turn around and disagree with them as well, so I don't care.
If not all, 80 beds tonight. Many who have
The only way in which third-party voting would work that would not inherently screw over marginalized groups in particular, because again, it's this whole talk of voting third party that got Trump in office to begin with. This whole talk of voting third party, talking about not voting, talking about, you know, because not enough people in certain key states were willing to just suck it up and just shake that ass for Hillary Clinton for a little bit, and that's how we got Trump in office. I'm not saying Hillary Clinton would have been much better, but like, and I'm saying that Joe Biden would have been much better, but it's still like that margin of like, you know, it's either, you know, voting in the fascist who's going to try to bring back something similar to the Jim Crow era South, or it's voting in the old guy who can't form a sentence. I'm gonna take the old guy who can't form a sentence every time. Yeah, Electoral College did get Trump in office, and we do need to get rid of that as well. But also, like, the thing is, like I said, it's the polarization of American politics, of the Democrats versus the Republicans, that really does not allow the third party to have a chance. If we were to implement ranked choice voting, hell yeah, I'd be pushing third party every freaking day, like all day long, if we had ranked choice voting in our voting system, but we don't have that. So as a result, voting third party at this point is a wasted vote. At this point, your vote is wasted voting for third party. We don't vote to appease some like God that's looking at us and saying, I see that you voted third party, you're a good person. No, we vote in a way, and I know some people might disagree with me on this one, we vote in the ways of harm reduction. We vote for which one is the lesser of two evils every time, because both the Democrats and Republicans are evil, but we have to vote for the lesser two evils, which the majority of the time are going to be the Democrats. Majority of the time. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. The Democrats are least likely to grind me down into biomatter and what have you, or take away the rights of, like, you know, LGBTQ plus people, trans people, etc. Like, the Democrats aren't the ones passing legislation that takes away their rights. It's all the Republicans. It's all the conservatives. It's all the far right people. It's those people that are introducing laws and bills that are getting that stuff passed and what have you. It's not the Democrats that are trying to necessarily take away social safety nets and what have you. I mean, unless you want to talk about like Mansion and Cinema, who are disgusting, vile creatures that are just they're literally just cases of human flesh, like hot dogs, like cases of flesh that just have ooze inside of them. There's no actual humanity inside of those people's bodies whatsoever. Actually, let me go get my phone charger, because my phone is dying. Let me go get my my phone charger. Yes, because again, do you understand how the electoral college works, and how like and how like our voting system is rigged in the favor of like smaller states? People needed to give their votes to Hillary Clinton in order for Hillary Clinton to win those key electoral votes, but they didn't, so she didn't win, and that's how we got Trump in office, because people were voting for third party. Third party does not have enough power to actually get things passed, or to actually get any sort of how should I say, standing in elections. I'll be right back. I know third-party voters don't want to take responsibility, like, especially like the libertarian pieces of garbage don't want to take responsibility for the fact that they got Trump into office, but you did, and it's time for you to just accept it. it's just time for y'all to just accept what happened. Yeah, the third party does not have the base, or yeah, the Dems are, you're right, nobody. The Dems are leaning more to the right to meet in the middle, but third party doesn't have the base or backing to make an impact in our current structure. It doesn't. It doesn't. There are so many people who don't even like I don't even know the mission statement or the goals of half of these for small fringe third parties and what have you. I don't even know their goals and shit. I highly doubt that the old boomers that are still hanging on to the Democrat and Republican Party, I highly doubt that they know. Unfortunately, unfortunately, voting third party is not a viable strategy against Republicans. Yeah, true. Or even against Democrats. Even if it was just against Democrats too, it still wouldn't be, because there's a lot of hardcore Democrat people in our society, and unlike the hardcore Republicans that we can at least laugh at, the Democrats, the people that are hardcore Democrats are incredibly cringy. They are incredibly cringy. The Republicans is just oh, you're just kind of dumb. You're just kind of dumb and reactionary. But the Democrats are the people that are hardcore Democrats are disgustingly bad people. Well, not disgustingly bad people, but they're just really cringy people. I've talked to many of them many times. They're cringy people. The same approach they went with before, forcing homeless people out of the subway system, but not actually providing them with safe spaces to go. Yeah, true. Yeah. This is the next time. So the next night they are right back in the subway because it is warmer there than outside. My mother works in a DV shelter, so not quite homeless, but adjacent. The sheer amount of corruption that she tells me about inside that one shelter alone is staggering. I can't imagine it being any better in homeless shelters, especially these smaller ones that Adams claims is building. Yeah, especially aren't LGBTQ plus people discriminated against in homeless shelters? Wasn't there a thing where that the Trump administration passed where homeless shelters could deny help and assistance to the LGBTQ plus community? Isn't that true? Is something like that happened? Not only that, but aren't women more likely to be abused within homeless shelters as well? Women and those who are femme presenting more likely to be abused in homeless shelter. I'm gonna ban you because I've never been to jail, and I know you're just here to, I know you're just here to, yeah, thank you, please. As someone who spent a good majority of my life homeless, I would rather be on the street than, a shelter. Oh, okay. Why do I feel like that's a neo-Nazbol, that number that they left is a neo-Nazbol, like, talking point? Or neo-Nazbol, dog whistle.
Eventually end up here. We're staying in those encampments under what the mayor calls inhumane conditions.
One simple action many hope will open new doors for one of the city's most vulnerable
I really hate black Democrats. I can't stand a lot of black Democrats and a lot of black I can't stand a lot of black people in politics because I don't know what it is. It just seems like they're even. It just seems like it just seems like stuff that's just as bad or almost just as bad as the Republican. Like, you should know better. Like, you should know better. You, honest to God, if you're a person of color working in politics and what have you, and you simp for either one of those sides, okay? You work for either one of those sides. Like, for the most part, for the majority of times when I see these people, when I hear them talking, like, a lot of them are incredibly whitewashed. They sell out black people and just dismiss, or the struggles of POC, and just dismiss these struggles, like, and by just saying that that POC just need to work harder, and there's like cultural things within our communities that we perpetuate ourselves, that we need to, in ways which we need to better ourselves and everything. And I just really cannot stand a lot of POC that are in politics. I cannot stand it. Like, cause I guess with like white people, it's like, okay, when Marjorie Taylor Greene steps up there, or Lauren Boebert steps up there, I refuse to call her by her actual name because she's a Bob. Okay, like when they step up there and when they open their mouth with dumb stuff, I can laugh because I'm like, ha! I don't expect anything else from this person. Like, I don't expect anything else different from this person. But then when like a black person steps up there, I'm just like, bro, home dog, homie, you should know better. You should know better. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel.
populations. This afternoon, Mayor Eric Adams was there as a new safety.
Like, does anybody else like agree with me on that? Like, does anybody? I'm sorry that I keep pausing this video, but does anybody else agree with me on that? With like, but especially like people of color. Like, does any other person of color agree with me on that? And it's not even just like, okay, let me change it. It's not just POC in politics. It's any powerful person of color, with the exception of people like maybe LeBron James, Chris Rock, Will Smith, regardless, excluding the whole thing between the two of them and what have you. It just seems like any other, like, black figure that has a good amount of influence over an audience of people, right, just has some of the worst takes you could ever freaking tell people that are desperate to have someone who looks like them be in a position of power that they can look up to. It's like, why is it that you guys have like the worst takes? The worst takes. Eli, because they had to capitulate to get where they are. That is true. That is true. That is true. Also, take note, this is my friend Becketla. She just chimed in while being a white woman. She chimed in on an issue about black people, and she did not center herself in the issue or let her unconscious bias show. Like, y'all need to take notes from the people, from the white folks in my audience. I'm gonna need all of lefty Twitter, okay? I'm gonna need all of lefty lib Twitter to take advice and to take notes from the white folks in my audience and and my white mutuals, okay, my white friends and stuff, okay? Like, y'all need to just. I need y'all to start jotting down some notes in your handy dandy. John Oliver has done more than enough segments on unhoused people. If we ever actually listen to them, we would find out real quick that they prefer to be on the streets than in those hellholes. Yeah, say what you want about John Oliver. I do think he's kind of annoying just a little bit, because like I feel like a lot of his jokes don't land in some cases, but the dude lets out some bangers. He lets out some bangers. he lets out some bangers. Example, Kamala Harris, who vanished after getting elected and only showed up once or twice since to give some real. Yeah, like whenever, like Kamala Harris. Kanye West is a real big one. Nicki Minaj with her vaccine BS. Like, why is it that all of the biggest black stars that everyone knows about have the worst takes, and they just and then like you think, oh, nobody's gonna listen to that, but then I go into work the next day, and then my manager down at Amazon was talking. Who was a black guy, was talking about vaccine shedding, and I was like, just take me now. Just let me. I need to leave this world. Not white people telling me as a black man to vote for my oppressor. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? To be fair, I'm not white. I'm white passing, so I understand how to be a minor. Oh, my bad, Becca. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Yo, what up, Margarita? What up?
Been opened here in the Mott Haven section of the Bronx. Soon, 80 men will call this home.
People are not going to live
Wait, hold on.
Mott Haven section of the Bronx. Soon, 80 men will call.
I already don't like the look of this. I don't like the look of this. I don't like the look of this. I don't know what it is. It just gives me a bad vibe. I'm getting, maybe it's like cream color, because cream is never a good color to have something. I say as I have cream colored walls. Yeah, cream is never a good color for something. I don't understand why people think that cream is a good color for something. It looks like somebody. I'm gonna tell you this right now, okay? I'm gonna tell you this right now. You want to know what I think of whenever I see the color cream? I just think of yellow snow. It's like somebody took yellow snow and then let it melt, put it in paint, mix it up with paint, and then like just. It looks like somebody peed in the paint. Like, honestly, it looks like somebody peed in the paint. I'm sorry. Cream just doesn't look like it's just not a good color to make something.
Call this home.
People are not going.
If you would like to see what I'm saying, you can come into my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/NotEliMonty. You can see that if you come into my Twitch stream. This is not going to attract homeless people at all. Yeah, it's. I don't think it is. I wouldn't. If I was homeless, I wouldn't want to sleep there.
To live under an undignified environment in the city where I'm the mayor. We will do better, and we have to do better.
Inside, there's a health center, lounge. Each bed has its own locker. Those who end up in this type of setting typically resist going to traditional shelters. Many, like this man, feel they aren't safe.
You got people trying to claim stuff.
Oh my god, why is it that whenever they interview someone who is homeless, they agree with the people in my chat? Like, almost every freaking time. Every time they interview a homeless guy, or a homeless girl, it's like, hey, this shit is bad. This shit bonk. Like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to go here. I don't want to live. I don't want to stay in this place. This is very bad. I'm saying the exact same shit that y'all are saying.
People like, yo, you can't walk through here. Like, bro, you serious? Like, we're not in jail, bro.
He instead stayed here under the BQE in Williamsburg. But Monday, that all changed. Police and sanitation.
This is freaking vile. This is vile. That's disgusting. That, like, it's like, I mean, do these people not own whatever happened to property rights? I'm just kidding. Probably the property that they're on probably belongs to the city, but I highly doubt that the property that they're on is privately owned. And even if it is, like, who cares, honestly? Like, who cares? Is this in NYC? Yes. This is in New York City. Yes.
Cleared the area. Phase 1 of the mayor's plan to break up roughly 180 homeless encampments around the city. Teams plan to
180 homeless encampment? Yeah, there's no privacy, no security, no space. It's barely a bed. It's like a prison. It's like a prison. What is he going to do next? The homeless working program. Now, if you are homeless, you can work your way out of being homeless. Or here's what's gonna happen. It's not only gonna be that. They're gonna start some stuff like we should really, maybe later on today, I don't know. We should really look at like parts of Ready Player One and the leftist, pro working class elements that are present in Ready Player One, that movie. If you haven't ever seen it, it's a really good movie. I really do think you guys should watch it. It's a movie that I think touches up on how in the gaming, I guess, society, gaming space, gaming community. There we go, community. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I lose my train of thought whenever I look at chat. Oh, how monetization and capitalism in a way ruin gaming, if that makes any sort of sense. I feel like it really touches up on that as well, while also talking about like the proletariat, working class rising up and all that stuff, right? There's a massive percentage of homeless people who work full-time jobs. True, that is true. NYC is brutal too. It's unhoused. It's terrible. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there, yeah. I was unhoused for a while in Brooklyn. They've always tried to consolidate and segregate them away. Yeah, true. And also, like, I'm telling you, there's gonna be a program where it's like you can work your way out of homelessness, even if you do like Antarctic said in my Twitch chat right now about how like a lot of these people do work a full-time job. There's gonna be shit like that, and then there's you can damn well be certain that like there's gonna be certain. I would not be surprised if something like this would happen. Or like if you work a job under a certain amount that pays you under a certain amount, you are just barred from housing completely. Like you cannot. You are not eligible. Like they are allowed to they're allowed to ask you for how much money that you make, how much money you bring in, whether or not you have a full-time job or not, and then they will be able to just bar you completely from housing based off of just how much money. Actually, wait, no, that already does happen. I'm stupid. That already does happen. If you don't make enough money, a place can refuse you. I'm stupid. I remember this because it did happen to me once. I'm just very stupid. I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of something else. Anyways.
Actually show those staying at these sites brochures with pictures of what safe havens look like. 350 beds are now operational across the city. The goal, 500.
You don't lose your bed if you're late. There's no curfew. So if you come back at midnight, your bed will be...
Wait, isn't she lying? Isn't she like straight up lying? Wait, hold on. Isn't this like not true? I've heard stuff about this and how everything she just said is like actually not true. Like it's not true. Oh my god. Are you serious? Did she just like straight up lie? You can lose your bed for the tiniest of things all the time. Oh my god.
Be there.
While the Coalition for the Homeless applauds the creation of new safe havens, it says the mayor's strategy of breaking up encampments is harmful. For now, there is a sense of optimism here. The end goal, finding folks permanent housing.
With somebody who will get...
This is why we need to just create mech suits. You won't fuck with a homeless person if you see him in a mech suit. Just kidding. The police will have bigger, better, top-of-the-line mech suits. There's never going to be anything that we can do to like to even out things, except for, like I said many times before, the poor just need to withhold their labor. But everybody always wants to fight back on me whenever I fight back against me whenever I say the poor just need to withhold their labor. Like, it's worked. It worked back during like the quarantine and shit. Like, obviously people not going to work was like very devastating, and things started to change and things started to get slightly more humane. Slightly, emphasis on slightly. There's a lot of eyes there.
Stabilized psychiatrically, that's a win. That's not housing yet, but it's a step towards that.
Only when you slave away and break your back, being a homeless person. Watch, there's going to be, I'm pretty sure there already are, homeless security guards, like homeless bodyguards and stuff. You gonna serve the working class, even if you homeless doing it.
And clients staying here will have access to a variety of services.
Yes, Becketla, decommodify housing now. No, don't even stop there. Decommodify housing, food, water, all that shit. Decommodify all of it. Decommodify all of it. The communities in general should control and distribute these things based off of what people need. That's what needs to happen.
And can stay as long as it takes to find permanent housing.
We go full commie here in House Left and on Kaiju Island. Like we in my dimensions here, we go full kami. We go full kami. No restraint. No holding back. No holds barred. Like we go full kami every time.
Those remaining
Scare off all the libs.
beds, the mayor says hotels are options.
What? The mayor says hotels are options? How? How are hotels options? Last time I checked, you need money to stay in hotels, and hotels aren't cheap. Hotels are very freaking expensive because they don't want your ass in there. They don't want you in there. They don't want you in there. Wow. Okay. Well, that's the end of that segment. We need to go somewhere else though. We need to go. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna check in on my good friend Lauren Boebert. She needs to be checked.